Good morning, beautiful family. I haven't made any videos for a while, just fundraising ones, and I'm just here. I was here from before the sunrise, well, from dawn light, before the sun actually came up. You know, yesterday my friend visited, who is from Kenya, and we know them from Tanzania. He has a German wife now. And I was telling him a story, and I realized I hadn't shared this story with you guys. And when it originally happened, I briefly touched on it in a daily vlog, but I didn't tell the story of what happened. So I want to just share that story because I'm going to do some videos over the coming days, but this story I want to share. I accidentally wound up on a poaching sting for leopards, okay? And this story was very ridiculous. So I got a phone call. No, I got stopped in my car one morning by someone I know called Kakabangi, which means brother marijuana. Reasons that he's a bit of a stoner, but for a living he digs latrines for toilets. You've no sewage system, so he digs them all day. He just gets high and digs. It's unbelievable. So he stopped me and he said that there's a man selling some leopard cubs, and I called the Tropical Animal Rescue Shelter, Makoa Farm, and I asked if they would take them, and they said, of course we'll take them. It's brilliant, but you should really go with the government if you're dealing with leopard cubs, because if you are found getting them, etc., you might get into trouble. They might blame you for something, so let's inform them what you're going to do. So when we informed the government, they said the park authority, I don't know if it was TANAPA, it's the part of the wildlife management agency in Tanzania, they called and said, we'll send somebody now to meet me. So I thought nothing of it and got on with my day. And a guy pulled up dressed in a suit and started talking to me, asked where they were, and I told them I know the location. It's up in the hills, a place called Karua, and that there was a hunter had been hired because a leopard had taken down a load of cows, and he'd been hired to kill a leopard, and now I was being offered leopard cubs to buy, which is illegal in Tanzania. You can't do that. So I agreed that I would go up and get them with this guy because I figured it was just one guy, and the agencies are not that well funded, so I thought, let me go with him and we'll get them, take them to animal. And it was also, I mean, I love the wildlife out there. I want to see them safe, you know. So we went and we made our way up into the mountains, and we climbed down this valley, and we got to this mud shack in the middle of the jungle, like just total jungle forest, loads of wildlife, beautiful area. And this guy wasn't there, so we're waiting, we're getting him on the phone, and about 45 minutes later he appeared, and he was carrying a bow and a machete and everything, and I said, well, this is the guy, this is the hunter. But he immediately was suspicious of the man in the suit, naturally, because it was very out of place. But I've missed something integral. I've missed something very integral. Before that guy turned up, before the hunter turned up who had these leopard cubs, the guy from the government handed me an envelope and said, inside here is hot money. This money's marked. So once you buy these leopard cubs with this money, I can then arrest him, and we can use the money as evidence that this guy was breaking the law. So I said, no. I said, sorry, I was so close to my home. I said, I'm not doing that. And I said, do you know who Diane Fossey is? And if you don't know, watch Gorillas in the Mist. She was killed by poachers. And it's not good to make enemies on your doorstep. I just want the leopard cubs. I don't want to put anyone in prison. I just want the leopard cubs. So he said, okay, I'll do it. So then he was the one trying to buy the leopards when he was expecting me. You know, he was expecting Mzungu Johnny, and everybody knew who Mzungu Johnny was, the long-haired white guy living down in the village. So The guy refused, but we could hear the leopard cubs in his hut. And I said, let's just get them. And he said, I can't. I'm not allowed to break his door, etc. Because if I do, I won't be able to prosecute him. And I was pretty frustrated because I wanted the leopard cubs to be safe. I didn't want a prosecution, but he wanted a prosecution. So, from there was further developments, because we drove down the road after leaving there, and I was saying, what are we going to do? And I was thinking I could go back on my own without this guy and get them later that day. And as we were driving town, the guy said, pull over at that ambulance, because there was an ambulance parked, and it was if you know your car is a Toyota Land Cruiser Troopy they use as an ambulance out there. It's an off-road car, but a very stereotypical ambulance, you know, with a place for a stretcher in the back, etc. And the bonnet was up and the guy was in the bonnet. So I thought we were doing a good deed and we were going to help this guy to fix his ambulance, because this guy, I thought, was on his own. But no, this guy was not on his own. And when we got to the ambulance and we got in the back, there was a task force with machine guns tooled up in the back of this ambulance. And they were waiting for a text or a call from him to storm this place where we were. And they were going to do that without telling me anything about it. And I got so angry and I said, what on earth? He didn't. And he said, yeah, we didn't want you to be nervous. We didn't want you to give the game away. So we didn't tell you what we're doing. So I got dragged into this poaching sting and got asked to use hot money. I had an armed task force nearby, which I never knew about, located in an ambulance, which is very, very clever. I hear they alternate how they do this with the undercover work, ambulances, delivery trucks, etc., etc. And sadly, no one heard anything about the leopards, and more than likely they died because we didn't get them. But I wanted to get them so badly. I actually tried to get back there later that day after these guys had gone for that purpose, but by then it was pretty dangerous because nobody wanted to talk to me and everyone was suspect and everyone felt it was fishy. And without the intervention of a rescue and without their mother, they undoubtedly died, which is a miserable situation because all of these wild, beautiful brothers and sisters of ours really need our help, you know, every single one of them, down to the last one. So, but that was the time I was on an anti-poaching sting, purely by accident. I just wanted to share that story with you and give some praise as well, because they do amazing work. For all on that day it didn't work out as it should have, and there are legislations and laws there like you have everywhere, and people get away with things, or you know, the government get themselves into trouble by not obeying the rules, etc. So I understand they had procedure to follow and it just didn't work out, but it would have been nice to get the cubs, unfortunately. Anyway, that was my little tale from Featherstale. Just wanted to share it. God bless. Bye.